Hey there, everyone. I don't know if we got anybody watching yet or not. Really, I don't know if anybody's going to tune in, but I wanted to jump on real quick and throw out a quick announcement. And really, it's nothing major, spectacular. I haven't been monetized or any of that. I have met the requirements. My channel's in review, but that hasn't been done yet. What I wanted to jump on and tell everybody, for anybody that knows, we had a basement flood a few months ago, and I've been working on getting it rebuilt. And I'm to the point now that I can move all of my YouTube editing stuff to my own spot in the basement. So um, my wife is a nurse practitioner, and she's also going to take a job um, as a part-time gig. She used to be a professor for an online university, and she left that and became a full-time nurse practitioner. And now she wants to go into being an adjunct professor for another online university. So in doing so, I'm getting kicked out of her office. So we have a little office in our house, and that's where I kind of set up shop for my YouTube stuff. But I'm getting the boot, so I'm gonna move all of my computer and YouTube stuff to its own dedicated space in our basement, which will help out on my live feeds. Hey Chris, how are you doing? We got one person that commented. Um, But anyway, I'll have my own space in the basement. It'll help when we're doing live streaming because you guys probably won't hear the dogs barking, and there should be less interruption. And also, I'll be able to control lighting and sound and whatnot better down there. But it's going to take me a few days to get all this done. Hey, John Warren, how are you? Dickard with Dave, how are you doing? Clint, how are you doing? I hadn't planned on turning this into a long live stream, but if people want to jump in and talk, I guess we'll run for a little bit. But ultimately, it's going to take me probably the entire weekend to get all my stuff moved. Data cables ran and whatnot. So I probably won't be uploading it all this weekend. Jerry Bennett. Actually, Jerry, I had a man cave in the basement. I've got a projector set up down there with um, way over the top surround sound. I've got like pro audio gear for speakers and whatnot. I'm a 40, almost 41-year-old man child. So, um, yeah, but all that flooded a few months ago. And so I've just about got it rebuilt. And I've got it to the point now where I can build my own kind of YouTube studio in my basement. So that's what my announcement was, is that you guys aren't going to see anything out of me for probably 3 or 4 days potentially until I get all of my stuff moved out of my wife's office and down into my own room. But so how's everybody doing? How's things going up there in Canada, Dave? Garnold Coffee, how are you doing? Man, for an impromptu deal, you guys sure have come through in spades. I didn't think there'd be that many people jump on. We got 20 viewers just in a few minutes. Oh, Yvonne Johnson, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. That's funny, John Warren. Nothing wrong with being a man child and wife. Yeah. Yeah, my poor wife. I've got a 17-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son, and then she's got a 40-year-old man child for a husband. So I don't know how she deals with it. But oh, Garnold's homesick right now. I hope you get to feeling better soon. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't anything special, spectacular. I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm not going to stop making videos. YouTube hasn't monetized me. None of that. It's just I didn't want anybody to sit around and think, man, To the Top Crane hasn't been putting anything up. And well, that's because To the Top Crane's going to be pretty busy for the next 3 or 4 days getting his YouTube stuff moved. Hey, Chad, how are you? And uh, Gary's using his wife's phone. And I've got you on the list to get you some stickers sent out, Gary. I apologize, I haven't gotten those out. I've got a lot of footage. I've recorded a lot of footage over the last, I don't know, week or 10 days, and so I've probably got enough footage to put together about 10 videos. That's how busy we've been at work. So I haven't been able to get anything mailed out to anybody. John Warren, mine tells me she's going to kick my butt. She's too short to do it. Oh, Chad, it is Friday, but I've got to work tomorrow, so it's not really Friday for me. And unfortunately, I got to work in a place that they don't allow video recording. So what I've got to do, you guys won't get to see it. But I've got to go into an industrial facility and, hey, Garnold, take care. Hope you're feeling better. But I got to go into an industrial facility tomorrow and pick up a piece that weighs about 105,000 pounds and set it on a trailer and then unload another identical piece but new and set it on a different trailer so they can roll it into a building. Wow, you guys like 20 viewers in 10 minutes. That's pretty amazing. So did we lose Dickard with Dave, or is he still hanging out on here? I love how he jumps into a chat, all caps. What happened? That's perfect. John Warren, they're actually doing away with PM. So if you want to email me at tothetopcrane@gmail.com. Ty Newman, tips for younger crane operator. It depends. I mean, how green are you, Ty? I mean, are you wanting to get into crane operating, or you need to get that red solo cup filled up? That's funny. I mean, is it something you're wanting to get into, or is it something you're already into and you're just getting started? Oh yeah, John Warren's got me Facebook. That'll work, John. I mean, Ty, I'll help you out however I can. I'm one of those people. I will help anybody that's willing to help themselves. And I also have no problem passing, any information on to people that are coming up in the field. I know there's a lot of operators out there. They're like, hey, I'm not going to teach that guy. I'm teaching my replacement. But that's not the case. What we're doing is we're teaching our future. We're passing on our trade. So I feel it's my responsibility to pass on anything I know in my trade to anybody that wants to learn it. So looks like my live chat either stopped or people stopped chatting, one or the other. Gary Johnson asked, I don't operate tower cranes. I'm not one of those people. I don't get myself very high up in the air. Let's see, John. Oh, you bust. Oh, so you're not going to get to haul that piece down here. Well, that's no good. Hi, Katie Wilson. Tell your husband to keep editing videos and getting them out there. If he really got serious on it and honed his skills a little bit, he could probably give old AVE a run for his money. See, Ty Newman, you've been running yourself for a year, so 2 years in it. I would say the biggest thing, Ty, is really pay attention to your setup. And that goes with any crane. It doesn't matter how small or how big. If your setup is not correct, then your whole job could be disastrous. So when you're setting that crane up, make sure that you pay attention to all the little details. When I pull into a site, first thing I look for automatically when I'm pulling in, power lines. Next thing I look for, is there anything in the ground or underground that could potentially affect how I'm going to put the crane up or what's going to happen to the crane when it is set up. So your setup is, in my opinion, the most important. Hey, John Warren, was that piece supposed to come in Tuesday of next week? Jimmy's Tractor, what I miss? Oh, you haven't missed anything, really. I was just Jimmy's Tractor. I was just making the announcement. I'm going to be moving all my YouTube stuff to the basement, and I'll probably be out of the loop for about 3 or 4 days. Clint Walton, link belt 8030 load limit going off for no reason. Any idea? I'm not overly familiar with an 8030. Is that a hydro? Lattice boom, what do you got? If it's a hydro, sometimes the load transducer in the hydraulic cylinder can give you fits. Oh, John Warren. Yep. Oh, that sucks that you're not going to get that job, John, because I am going to be the crane setting that piece. And that, if I'm not mistaken, that piece is coming to Triumph Foods in St. Joseph, Missouri. And I'm going to be actually setting that cooling tower. How long? Ty Newman asked how long I've been in the industry. I've been a heavy equipment operator and mechanic since I was 18 years old. I mean, straight out of high school, that's what I turned to, was heavy equipment mechanics and operating. The crane industry, I've been in about 10 years in the crane side of it. Gary Johnson asked, do I have to calibrate my crane? No. I mean, there are ways to calibrate it if it is reading wrong, but no, I generally don't have to mess with that. Hey, Pedro. Hey, thanks. And hello from the United States to Portugal. Thanks for the good feedback on that, and telling me the channel's awesome at G4 Outdoors. G4, I don't use a laptop. I have a desktop, and also I have to build a desk. I have to set up my backdrop, all that good stuff, and then I have to run data cables between the floor and the finished ceiling in the base, like between the main floor and the ceiling in the basement, and the ceiling's sheetrock. So I got to get cables strung through that. Okay. Clint said, yeah, it's a hydro. If it's constantly reading overweight, the first thing I would look at is the load transducer on the boom cylinder or the wiring to it. That's going to be about the only thing that's going to tell the computer that you're overweight, unless you have some kind of glitch going on in the computer. But that would be the first thing I would look at, would be the transducer. Let me ask you this, Clint. Does it change if you enter different parts of line? Does it ever get out of its overloaded condition? Like say you have it set for one part of line and it's telling you you're overloaded, but if you switch it to 2 parts of line, does it tell you that you're within capacity? Or what's it reading for your gross weight that it's actually that it's telling you that it's got hanging? Yeah, John Warren, I don't know enough about trucking to know if that's a good price or a bad price. I don't know. But yeah, if you were to end up with that job, you would be able to throw rocks at me. G4 Ojibwe had to sneak. Yeah. That's why I'm allotting 3 or 4 days to get this done. That's why I figured if nobody sees anything out of me for 3 or 4 days, I didn't quit doing the YouTube thing. I'm just trying to get things moved and organized. Ty Newman started at 18 also. Nothing else I would want to be doing. Yeah, I love crane work. Other than there's a lot of times that it's very nerve-wracking and it can be pretty physically intensive, but overweight coming on and off. Okay, Clint, I'm still leaning towards that transducer or the wiring to it. You've got something going on between that transducer and your computer. unless I'm not sure that crane could use a line rider. Some have a line rider, which is you basically have two pulleys or two shivs, and then you have another one that's kind of centered between the two and offset. So your rope actually runs up through it like a snake. And as the rope pulls tight, that line rider registers how much tension's on the rope. If it's got a line rider, then you probably have an issue with the line rider. But if it's transducer, that's probably where I would look. Gary Johnson asks how often the cable life is completely dependent on maintenance and how you treat it. If you're hard on it, like if you get it into stuff, your rope's not going to last long. And also if you constantly are dragging it through a bunch of junk and you're not keeping it lubricated, then it won't last long. But if you keep it well lubricated and you're not inadvertently getting it into things, then that rope will last a long time. It actually, on my crane, it actually runs through plastic shivs. So the shivs on the end of the boom and inside the block are plastic. So those shivs will wear before the rope does. The only real wear that the rope gets is where it runs over itself on the drum. Hey, Clint, I hope that helps you out. Other than without seeing it or looking at a schematic for that crane, I wouldn't know for certain. But like I said, that's where I would start digging. And let me know how that, I mean, throw a comment on this video if you want later and let me know what you find out, because that's got me kind of curious. But I'd be willing to bet you're going to find it's transducer issue. Also, Clint, I'll throw this in there. Before you yank that transducer out, if you do take the transducer out of the boom cylinder circuit, make sure the boom is laying in the rack or on a dolly or supported by something, because that thing's measuring the pressure inside the cylinder. And if you pull that out, you could set yourself up for a position where the cylinder collapses itself. So make sure that you don't have it boomed up or that the boom isn't being supported by the boom cylinder when you mess with that. John Warren, we use cable lube. We've got a spray lubricant that's designed specifically for running rope that we use. Tiny one was hanging steel 100 feet over a cliff the other day. Haven't been that stressed in a while. I have to tuck it. Yeah, that would be stressful. That's Jordan Halley. I don't know where Logger Wade's probably either editing a video or cutting down some trees or something. This was just a complete impromptu deal. This wasn't a planned live stream. I figured I'd jump on real quick and let everybody know what was going on, and we had people asking questions, so we're rolling with it. But back to Ty's comment, anytime you're setting something to where you don't have an out, like if you're raising something way up in the air, or if you're getting out, like he said, over a cliff, if something starts happening, you got no way to ditch it. You're just riding it out. Clint, mechanic asked me volts problem. Yeah, I mean, you could have a battery voltage issue, or even a bad alternator could cause a computer to start reading incorrectly. But I'd be willing to bet that if you had a low voltage problem, some of your other systems would be affected as well. Like your boom length probably wouldn't read accurately. Your anti-tube block could even be affected some. There would be other systems in the crane that would probably be affected if you had a low voltage issue. Since it's localized to just your reading the weight incorrectly, to me it doesn't sound like a low voltage problem, unless it is low voltage in that circuit. Like if you have a short circuit on that transducer circuit, then that could cause it. Even a bad ground could cause something like that. So I'm probably not going to hang around here all that long. I'm actually getting ready to go down in the basement and start measuring for the desk that I'm going to build. And then I got to make a trip to the local Lowe's and start buying some material and get that done. So But I just want to throw that out there. So if you guys are kicking back wondering where the To the Top crane stuff is, it's coming. It's just going to take me a couple days to make it happen. So with that being said, I'll probably shut this down at 20 after 5 Central Time. Right now my computer's showing 5:14. So Ty, I do have an email. You guys can reach me at tothetopcrane@gmail.com. So let me type that on here. Hey Gary, no problem. Real McCoy, how are you doing? Katie Wilson, hey. I'll answer any questions. I encourage people to ask questions because that's how we all learn. And you know what they say, even going back to grade school, there's the only stupid question's the one that's unasked. So by all means, ask away. Hey Clint, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'll try to keep the dirty side down tomorrow for sure. It's supposed to be really hot. It's been hot here. I think the heat index right now is 110, and it's not supposed to be much better tomorrow. So fortunately, the Tadano has air conditioning. So yeah, I'll probably shut this down in about 4 minutes, and that'll give me time to go get some measuring done and some materials bought. Hey Tony, I hope you have a good weekend as well. Thanks for popping in. Does Crane have a tiltable cab? It does have a tilting cab. It tilts on the inside though. It's kind of strange. The door and the glass and all that stay stationary, and then the seat and all the controls and computers and whatnot tilt inside of it. Real McCoy, I have not been monetized yet. Gary Johnson, happy 4th to you. But Real McCoy, I haven't been monetized yet. I've got 1,490 subscribers and almost 5,000 watch hours. I think last I checked, I was like 4,880. My channel's still in review. Rumor has it that can take months. And really, I don't care if it takes 6 months to get monetized. So be it. I do this because I enjoy it. I've met a lot of neat people doing this. I enjoy all of my subscribers I enjoy all of my subscribers, but I really enjoy people that are engaging my channel, and I get a lot of questions and a lot of views. So that tells me that people are genuinely interested in what I'm doing and that I'm making halfway decent content. So Real McCoy, oh, they finally monetized you. Congratulations, Real McCoy. How long were you on the waiting list for being monetized? I've heard horror stories of people been on since February or March and just now got it. I've seen some videos pop up of some smaller channels that have just been monetized, channels with less than 2,000 subscribers that they're finally getting paid. So 3 months. Well, Josh, hey Josh Wellner, how are you doing? Everybody probably heard my dog bark. Tiny, yeah, that I need to get back to doing that. I haven't done that for a while as far as putting a GoPro on the end of the crane. What I do is I use a magnet mount and I put it on the anti-2 block weight and have it pointing straight down the rope. The drawback to doing that is it tends to bounce around a lot. So I actually need to make some kind of pendulum attachment that holds the GoPro pointing straight down. That way it doesn't swing around everywhere. But I have to be careful. I mean, anybody that's messing with cranes, you have to be careful what you put on the end of the boom, because if it comes off for some reason, you own that thing as it's fallen on someone. So if it's not a factory approved device that you're attaching to the end of the crane, you own that if something goes south. That's why I've had people ask me to put an American flag on the end of the crane, and I have no problems in doing that, but I have to use a factory flag mount, and we have one for aviation flags for when we're working on airports and whatnot. But I can't just whip up a mount and throw a flag on the end of the crane, because the responsibility involved in that's pretty great. Who I appreciate your content. Thank you. I try to edit decent videos and put them out there. Somewhere, someone though has given me a thumbs down on most every video that I've got out, and I think it's kind of funny. But evidently, they think that it hurts my channel. I guess, I don't know. Haters are gonna hate. But tiny when you hang your you hang flags. You probably hang them on the hook with a shackle on the bottom ring on the flag, or just hang them straight off the hook. Which that's completely different deal. But we don't leave our cranes out over the weekend generally. Like the crane I operate right now, it's put to bed in our crane building, and it won't leave that building until about 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's see, it was 6 parts. It's consuming a lot of cable. The crane has 1,100 feet on both winches, so 1,100 feet per winch. So the total cable amount on the crane is 2,200 feet, but it's 1,100 feet on each winch. Dominic Keys, how are you doing? You guys are running me over a little bit, but it's all right. I got 30 people tuned in, so I guess we'll just roll with it. I can measure desk stuff later. I appreciate everybody jumping in here. So, Dominic Keys just got here. So, what's the announcement? Like I told everybody in the beginning, we had a basement flood a few months ago, and we've got a finished basement. And I'm just about got it all put back together. So, I'm moving all of my YouTube stuff to an office in the basement, or a little YouTube studio, and it's going to take me a few days to get that done. So, I just didn't want anybody to wonder why I wasn't posting any content. So I'll be out of the loop for about maybe 3. I'm gonna say a maximum of 4 days, but I'm gonna shoot for having it done maybe Sunday. Can I make it to the Top Crane Facebook page? I thought about doing that, John, and I probably will. I just did an Instagram deal. I've never been on Instagram before in my life. My daughter's got it. I think my wife's got it. But I just started a To the Top Crane Instagram page that when I get some free time, I'll figure out what that's all about, how it works and whatnot. So you can go on and find some crane pictures on Instagram on To the Top Crane. And then I'll see about whipping up a To the Top Crane Facebook page. So Josh Wellner, we'll see you in 2 weeks. No, you'll see me in sooner than 2 weeks. If I don't have it all completely up and running by Monday, I'm probably going to have G4 Outdoors calling me wanting to know what's going on. Rambo's clown sounds easy. Crane the house off the basement, lower the office, and put the house back. Hadn't thought of that. I don't know how much my neighbors would appreciate having a 200-ton crane sitting in their yard, but food for thought, I guess. All right, I've really got to go get some measuring done, and I hate to cut anybody off. John Warren, but hey, hope you have a good weekend as well. Oh, John already checked out Instagram. That didn't take very long. Off the wall question: if your crane broke down on the way to a job, can it be towed? Dominic, it can be towed. It would take a fairly sizable wrecker to do it, but it can be towed. Hey, Josh, thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a good evening as well. And I'm gonna wrap this up. I gotta, like I said, I gotta drag the tape measure out, go get some measuring done. The quicker I get my desk built and all that stuff done in the basement, then the quicker I get back to editing videos. So, hey, greetings from Norway. That's awesome. I had no idea I had so many people watching from so many different places, but greetings from the United States. Jimmy's tractor, Ron Pratt could get me. I don't know that Ron's rotator is big enough to tow that crane. So, all right. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. As soon as I get everything moved, maybe I'll do a quick live stream showing you guys what I got going on. And then I'll get back to editing videos. We'll resume our normal scheduled live stream a week from this. Oh, wait. I'm going to be camping a week from this Sunday. I'll probably be back before then. So we'll figure on a week from this Sunday, 6 p.m. Central will be the next live stream, but I'll probably throw a quick one in. When I get everything moved. So everybody have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping in.